Yo, man, I really realized, man, that I must be a bad man. And when I say a bad man, I mean bad in a good way. You know what I'm saying? You know how Michael Jackson came out with the song "I'm Bad." You know I'm bad, and you know it. Even R. Kelly came out with the song "I'm a bad man," and I'm not ashamed. You know what I'm talking about. I'm a bad, and I what is it? What's the other lyric? I don't need no love. I'm a bad. You know what I'm saying? And R. Kelly is a bad man. I don't care what you say about who he is and what he done. You still can't diss his music. Can I get a hello there? But anyway, um, I'm just sitting here thinking, man, the reason why I say I'm a bad man because these adjustment bureau people, entities, monsters, aliens, archives, whoever the heck these people are, man, these sons of guns are very, very basically scary, man. And the reason why I say this, man, because they would do whatever it take for you not to meet nobody. You know what I'm saying? The people, because I understand what they doing and what they have already done. You know what I mean? How they reach out to the people. This is why they stalk you and watch you all the time because they want to see who you deal with and who you socialize. And I mean, have y'all ever noticed that when you go out there and you talk to somebody, and then out of nowhere, that person that you talked to, whether it was a new person that you talked to, let's just say, at a job, for example, you hired at a job and you start talking to somebody. One minute they cool, that first day that y'all talk, and then all something, that y'all go about your business, and then y'all might see each other the next day, and then they strange on you. You know what I mean? Now something, they're not really acting the same, you know. So yeah, man. Because the reason why I say it is that the reason why I say that because I see how the people that I had in my past, how they, basically cut me off. But this is how I know that this gang stalking COINTELPRO been going on for a long time, because this used to even happen in my youth days, man. I'm gonna take you back real quick. I remember, I had a friend. We talking elementary school. You know how you know you have a friend in school, in elementary school, and that might turn out to be your best friend. You go over their house. You know what I mean? You stay at night at their crib. You remember them days, man? They stay at night at your crib. You know what I mean? Well, I had those days. I'm not even gonna put the bull name out. I ain't gonna do all that. But it was back in the day. It was like considered to be my best friend. You know what I mean? And then I remember things started to change later. And funny thing about it too, the dudes that get bullied, and that's how we became friends. Because I remember one time he was getting bullied, and I had uh got one bull off him one time in school. Bull had gripped him up, and I knew the bull that gripped him up. So I had like basically gripped the bull like, yo, he cool, he my people's. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. That's how I was, man. I was always a rider, yo. I could have if I was born in the LA days, back in the Crips and the Bloods, I could have definitely been in the gang. Cause loyalty was always big with me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm getting off the subject. Um Also, too, another reason why people go down that road of being in the gang, because of they being left out and outcasted, you know, and they don't have no friends, so they go that route to find, That's why I never I never understood why you kill each other with color rags. I don't understand that. To me, that's just idiocracy. But as far as a person, whether male or female, they join a gang, I could understand why, because some people just can't deal with being an outcast and being solo. I was always a lone wolf, that tiger. solo, you know what I'm saying? So I got used to it. But everybody can't do it. Everybody can't walk down that solo path. But anyway, just thinking back to the days when I was, when you had those so-called friends. I remember I used to call them as time went by. We went from elementary to middle school to high school, and well, not even before we got to high school. I would say middle school. That's when things really started to change, and how you call somebody and you get on the phone with somebody. This is back in the day, way before cell phones. When you call somebody on a house phone back in the day, you know what I mean? You had to hurry and get off the phone because somebody else had to use the dang on phone. But anyway, um, I remember I used to make a phone call, and you call the person up and y'all talk for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then out of nowhere, this particular person, his mother used to pick up the phone on the other end and would always say, "I need to use the phone." So he'd be like, I gotta go, I gotta go. I'm gonna call you back. I was like, "All right, no problem." And then we hang up, and then I never received that phone call until I called back, and the same repeated patterns used to happen. The mom used to pick up the phone on the other line, and I need to use the phone. All right, hey, hey, D, I'm gonna call you back, D. I'm gonna call you back. All right, no problem, no problem. Never get the phone call back. You know what I mean? So, I started to catch on. I was like, man, what's going on? The same repeated, patterns popping off. And of course, at that time, we young, so there's nowhere in the world in my mind I'm thinking that this was some type of orchestrated deal, you know what I'm saying? But I was real suspicious about it because I'm like, why he never called back? So, make a long story short, I just pretty much caught on and just stopped calling back. And the moment I stopped calling back, the relationship just died. Now, this is just wasn't just him. This was everybody. Everybody, every friend, so-called friend that I had used to just slowly vanish and disappear. You know what I mean? So it all makes sense, man. It let me know that I was born in this program. I was born in this joint. You know what I'm saying? They was always doing their best to isolate the God, yo. These entities, they knew. Trust me, you gotta understand, people. You gotta understand when you come into this world, man, they know who you are. They know who you are, man. See, a lot of y'all that's listening and watching, subscribe to my channel, y'all carnal minded. You know what I'm saying? Y'all would never really understand the mind of DB, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I read y'all comments, man. I'm like, y'all niggas still talking about Jesus coming to save you. Like, so a lot of y'all just, y'all really blue pilled. A lot of y'all are blue pilled, man. And some of y'all might even be upset about that, but this is DB, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know what I mean? I don't care. I step on toes, player. You don't know that by now? I step on toes, man. So you gotta understand that that these entities, man, they know. See, I understand that I understand that I'm not my body. I understand that I'm not flesh and blood. You know what I'm saying? Even though even the scripture said that the word became flesh. I mean, look, read John chapter 1. In the beginning was God. Hold on, let me go. I got the Bible right over here. Hold on. All right, John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I'm gonna read that one more time. In the beginning was the Word. Sound, what is word? Sound frequency. And the Word was God. No. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So see, y'all don't understand that. Y'all don't understand what that means. You know what I mean? When it says that the word was God, what is word? Word is what? Frequency, right? Sound frequency. See, y'all think that, see, the beast programmed you to think that God is in the sky and is a person. God is a frequency, dog. God is a frequency, man. It's right there in your face. It's right there in your face, man. And then let me continue. Let me continue. It's in the book. Y'all not reading it. Y'all not listening. It says the same was in the beginning with God, right? All things were made to him, and without him was not anything made that was made, right? In him was life, and life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. Hold up. I'm trying to get to what I'm looking for. All right. So now I want to take it back in the beginning. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then in verse 11 it says, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. The Word, the aka the sound frequency, was made flesh and dwelt among us. That's us. We are that word that was God, that was with God, that became flesh, and now we down this joint. We are the Immaculate Conception. See, a lot of y'all ain't ready for this, man, but you better get ready. You should be ready. You know what I mean? You are. Why do you think in Jesus went on and told them people, isn't it written in your book that ye are gods? You know what I mean? And what they do, they got mad. They great stone them. You know what I mean? Dummies. That's the bots. The bots was the one that picked up the stones because the bots can't handle the truth. You know what I mean? The carnal minded ones, the ones that's out here gang stalking you. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all that you see, you gotta understand. Like people say that we are the 144,000. That could be true, man. I don't know. I can't give you that answer. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It do seem like we could be the 144,000 because the reason why I say that because those numbers are small. 144,000 compared to like what is it supposed to be 6-7 billion people on the planet? That's what they say though. I don't know. I don't believe none of that stuff. All right, that's just he say she say. You know what I mean? So I don't know how many people on the damn planet, but what I do know is that it could be true. The reason why I say that we could be the 144,000 because when you turn around, look, a lot of people is not going through this. You know what I'm saying? You be like, where everybody at? Because you turn around and look, you see everybody bodified. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I'm out here by myself. So it do seem like you could be that 144,000 if you are a target individual. It's possible. But my point is, what I'm trying to tell y'all, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell y'all that these patterns that I was always receiving in my life, you know what I'm saying? From the isolation patterns, what I call them. The isolation patterns, you know what I'm saying, for everybody, you know, fronting on me. You know, I always say that. I'm like, yo, why everybody be fronting? Remember that boy back in the day? Man, niggas be fronting, man. Girls be fronting. You know what I mean? I used to get dissed. You know what I'm saying? People be dissing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember sometimes you might, you know, I know I'm a fly looking dude, right? You can't tell me, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I might get dissed by a chick that might be a 7 or something. Like what? You know what I mean? So it just didn't make sense. You know what I mean? But now I realized that it was all by design. It was all orchestrated. And then if I, you know, and then if I did have a girl, they would set me up with some type of misfit. You know what I mean? So my point is, what I'm saying is that I always been watched, yo. These entities that's controlling people. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that these entities, right, that's been stalking my life because they've been watching me before I even knew I was being watched. But it was always funny too, man, because I remember, man, when I was growing up, man, I was that little strange kid, man. I remember I used to I always felt like I was being watched. I used to always come in the house and look in the closets and stuff, you know what I'm saying? My dad used to snap at me, boy, what is wrong with you? Why you always looking in the closet? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, like, I must have been through this before. I probably was gang stalked in another life. I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, but I always knew growing up as a youngin', I always felt like I was being watched, yo. Way before technology, man. Way before they had surveillance cameras all hooked up to every dang on corner grocery store, convenience store, just to watch your behind get killed. I mean, because they're not there to protect you. And it's, I gotta say that. Because there's a lot of people out here that actually think that. They actually think that these surveillance cameras out here is out there to protect them. Man, you really out your rabbit ass mind. But anyway, these entities been controlling people, man. They're, look, what I'm trying to tell y'all is that they're not going, if you're really being targeted like me, which I know none of y'all, I know a lot of y'all are not on my level. Everybody got different, everybody got different targeting. You know what I'm saying? Some people is going through different types of, you know, type of stalking. There's many levels to this. But one thing I do know for sure, I have not met anybody that's really going through the level of targeting of myself. You know what I'm saying? Now there's a couple people out here that I see got the same, might have the same type of street theater as far as the color coding and the weird behind synchronicities. The moment you walk outside, and amber lamps and red cars and red jackets and red hats, and you might be getting that. But when it comes to other stuff, as far as the directed energy and the implantation of signals and all that other stuff, I'm on a whole nother level. Now, don't get me wrong, there's other people out here that's going through it different too. They suffer from the Morgellons. You got people out here, especially a lot of white people. A lot of white people got Morgellons, and they got worms coming out of their skin with hair follicles, and the doctors in them calling them crazy. You see what I'm saying? Because the doctors are paid off. So they're not going to talk about that. They can't talk about that. You know what I mean? So you got these people out here suffering from that. That's on a whole nother level. You see what I'm saying? I can't relate to that, thank God. So there's other people going through that. I notice a lot of people that lack pigmentation is suffering from the Morgellons. Maybe it could be the lack of melanin. I don't know. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to tell y'all is that, everybody's going through, I don't give a dang on, what level you are. If you're being targeted, you're being targeted. So I really don't, I don't really don't care about, what level a person is on. All I'm trying to tell you is that everybody is being targeted in their own way, shape, and form. I don't hear everybody talk about they getting hit over the head and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That I only heard a couple people actually talked about that. The guy Tony spoke about it. You know what I'm saying? So my point is that if you are a target, you're a true target, you gotta understand something, man. You're more than just flesh and blood, player. All right, you should be woke by now. You know what I mean? If you know that these people, these entities is on you left and right, no matter what, no matter when you walk out that door, you gotta understand that the CIA is connected to some Palladian demon archives. You know what I mean? And then these people, these entities is doing some witchcraft on your behind. And what I'm trying to tell you is that it gotta be a reason why. Why are they after us? Like the boy said on Will Smith, why are they after you? Why are they after me? I don't know and I don't want to know. You know what I mean? So they're not gonna be spending all this money. If it is money, whatever it is, the insurance policy, if we end up dead or in a mental facility, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, man, these demon archons know. They know why they're after you. What I'm trying to get you to understand, and you got to know why they're after you as well. And you got to understand and know that you are more than just flesh and blood. You best believe it. You are that word, and that word was with God, and that word is God. You see what I'm saying? And that's the reason why they're after you, man, because, it's something about who we are, and they got our DNA. They know it. You know what I'm saying? So they done studied you. While you was out here playing around, partying, going to Walmart, they was studying. They was studying who? You. That's who. You know what I'm saying? And for these people to be able to control and manipulate, and they can keep people out your life, and they can bring people into your life. And the people that they bringing into your life are agents. That's who they are. You meet people, man, I'm trying to tell you, sad to say, but the people that they're gonna bring into your life, man, is bona fide agents, man. I want to put it out here too, man. I called Phil Valentine. Shout out to Phil Valentine. I'm not gonna throw him under the bus, not yet. He could be a busy man, you know what I'm saying? But I did call him, man. He left his number, so I called him. And I wanted to speak with him. I ain't getting, I left a message and everything, man. So hopefully, I'm gonna call him again. I'm not gonna throw him under the bus like I did what's the boy name? If you follow me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Professor Griff. You know what I mean? I threw him under the bus because I talked to him and I ain't like the conversation. He was gaslighting. You know what I mean? He was gaslighting, man. So he let me know that he's down with them. He's an agent. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Phil is, and I'm hoping that he's not. You know what I mean? Because I've been riding with these cats. You know what I'm saying? I've been listening to these cats. These cats is very informative. You know what I mean? They know about what's going on. Phil Valentine know what the CIA is doing and the technology that they got. You best believe it. And even Professor Griff know, and how he gaslight me on the phone. That's the reason why I threw him under the bus. Because it was nowhere in the world he should have gaslight me like that. You know what I'm saying? By him knowing what's going on. So I'm gonna have to end this video, man, because I'm running out of minutes on this joint. So it might be a part 2. I don't know. I definitely got other stuff to put up. You know what I mean? So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, man. Holla back, man. DB Gang Stalking Simulation. You already know it, the best channel on YouTube. This is where you're gonna get the truth, the facts. You know what I'm saying? People always want to try to diss the conspiracy theory guy, man. I don't give a damn. We come with the facts, player. It ain't no theory no more. It is a conspiracy, but it ain't no theory. You just look around. All you got to do is take the veil off your eyes. Stop swallowing them blue pills. Take some red pills, some black pills. Some black pills. You know what I mean? Renegade would say the black pill. Take them joints and you wake up and see reality for what it really is. You know what I mean? And like I said, hey, I'm grateful that they gang stalking me. Because they done woke me up even more to deeper levels that you can even imagine. You know what I'm saying? So I must be special for them to be after me like this. You know what I mean? Some Ogie from the hood. Come on, man. I'm just a brother from the hood, man. You know what I mean? With no education. You know what I mean? I'ma holler back. Y'all keep your heads up, player.